Daniel and Micah are coming along.
I think they're playing pretty well right now. This is obviously a big game, but I think they're going to be well prepared for it. And yeah, I'm pleased with the way they're playing. They're playing a lot.
Yeah, they're
We
getting a lot
haven't,
of reps, aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah, we haven't rotated as much as we have in the past. Probably we'll have to rotate this week a little more.
Right, because it's going to be a ground-heavy game
Yeah, it
more than
depends on
likely.
how long drives are and stuff. But yeah, we'll try to rotate more. We got more guys practicing this week.
Navy's had some good inside linebacker tandems over the years, but these two look like, in terms of size, speed, athleticism, you haven't had too many ones together that look like this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm real pleased with them. They're doing a great job, and we've had a lot of good players here since I've been here. I mean, I've been lucky to coach a lot of good players, but these guys are good too. Yeah, I feel good about them. Yeah,
What would you say is the attributes of Gonzo?
he's just tough, hard nosed, very physical. And then Micah's for a big guy, surprisingly athletic and very good student of the game. Knows exactly what to do and learns things very quickly. So they both have a lot of strengths.
Gonzo
Yeah,
he is the type that seems to like to bring the wood. I mean, he's known as a big hitter.
he
Is
is.
that something that's good that you like?
Yeah, that's
Someone,
great. That's great. He's very physical and does a great job. Very intimidating. Um, Very physical player. Yep.
Micah seems to have really taken a step forward. I think you've talked about it, Dale, since last season, when he did have a good year, but in the offseason, it seemed like he really took off.
Yeah, he's just maturing as a player, and he's just becoming an outstanding linebacker. So we're really pleased with both those guys.
Is part of Micah's his thickness. He's like a brick wall.
He's big. Yeah,
They had a clip from the Tulane game where he just stood a guy up. It was a perfect form tackle.
yeah. He's 200 and almost 250 pounds, but is not slow at that weight. Carries it well and is big enough to take guys on, and also athletic enough to run and play well in space. So we're really pleased with the way he's playing.
Romine, let's start with him. What are you seeing out of him?
He can throw the ball, can run. He's a really good quarterback. We played him a couple of years ago, so we know a little bit about him. But he's, like all older guys, he's running the show pretty well.
And then, some of the guys in the backfield we've seen for years is Shane Davern, the fullback. They got two good fullbacks, really.
Yeah, they got two big kids that both run hard. I've been very impressed with how hard both of them run. Tough kids.
And what about they call them halfbacks, whatever, the slot, but the guys in essence are slots.
Good. They look a lot like us. You could probably trade people and we'd look about the same. But they're very talented offense.
And then last but not least, Robinette, the receiver, he's like a Jameer in a lot of ways. They throw it up, he'll go get it.
Again, the two are almost mirror images of each other. Robinette might be a little heavier. I'm not sure he's 215. I don't know what Jameer is, but again, it's like looking in a mirror. They both do similar things. They both go up and get the ball. They make fantastic catches. They adjust to the ball in the air. Both of them are similar.
Obviously, Air Force, the offense aren't exactly the same, but from what I understand this year, they're running a little more true triple. Is that what you're seeing on film, or are they?
Yeah, no, they've shown that, and they can also run the power. They're a little more multiple maybe than we are, but they seem to have more of a base this year maybe than what they've had in the past. But that always changes when we show up, so we've got to prepare for everything.
Well, and that's why I think they've been renowned for using a ton of formations, running receivers across the formation before the snap. That's something a lot of times you can't let your eyes fool you. They do a lot of stuff to try to. They'll run what is in essence a triple option play with all sorts of movement.
Right. Yeah. There's a ton of window dressing. You just got to know what is your key and get your eyes on that key. You can't let all of that confuse you or enamor you. You just sort of have to know that they have these plays, but they're going to run them out of a lot of different sets, a lot of different motions. They're trying to get numbers, they're trying to get angles. So you just have to know what your key is and what your job is and go play.
How's their offensive line look so far?
They're very good. They're a good football team. It's about the same team we played last year, only they're a year older. So it's a good football team.
The other thing I was going to ask you about, I'm doing a story about the inside linebackers. You've been here a long time. Navy's had some good ones. I went back and looked. Robbie Caldwell was with You know, I can't remember, but actually it was, oh man, I'm good. But you've had some decent
Right.
combinations. What these two, Gonzalez and Thomas? What do you think that's one of the best duos
I
you've
think
had?
it's got to be one of them. They both run really well. They're both tough. They both are good football minds. I would compare them with a lot of the groups that you'd say, well, these two were good. These two were good. I think they're right up there with the best of the groups that we've had since I've been here.
Would it be fair to say that this, as far as two players at the same time, they're the better athletes than you ever had? I mean, you had some good inside linebackers like
Yeah.
Pospisil that were 5'9".
Right, they might be. They run really well, and that's probably what separates both of them. I mean, I think Daniel's like a 4.6 guy, and Mike is close to that. I don't know that we've had guys that were quite that fast before, especially like with Mike. It also has
He's
a lot of
230.
size, exactly. So I know we haven't had that, but they, they're comparable athletically. They might be a little bit ahead of what we've had in the past.
And last but not least, I was going to ask you about Namdi. He kind of showed up really for the first time in his career against Tulane, and it looks like the light bulb's starting to go on for this kid. Would that be fair to say?
I think so. I think Coach Nua and
Napoleon?
Coach Sykes have done a great job bringing him along. I mean, he worked hard all summer. He was determined, and I think that's paying off for him now. He's getting more game reps, and the more reps you get, obviously the better you play. So I'm very excited for him. And again, Coach Nua and Coach Sykes have done a great job bringing him along, and he's done a great job himself. He was in the weight room all summer. He's worked extremely hard, and he's playing that way.
So a kid like that gets his first career sack as a senior. You got to feel good for a kid who's worked and stayed the course. And sometimes when he fell down the depth chart, he could have gotten discouraged, but he didn't. And look, he made a big play.
Exactly. That's why you do this job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really the only reason. To see kids develop and the kids have success, and especially a guy that's stuck to it like he has. I mean, again, he's gone up and down the depth, and he just kept fighting, and he's done. I'm very happy for him.
All right. A lot from the coaches, both Coach Johns and Coach Pearson, that even though you had a good year last year, they felt like you took a giant step forward during the off season. Do you feel that is the case?
I mean, all I can say is that I worked my hardest in the off season to make that leap, to be better for my teammates, to be better for my brothers. Through Daniel Gonzalez pushing me every day, to the other linebackers, to everybody on the team pushing me every day. It just made me want to be the best I can be the best for my team that I could be.
Well, there's some things you learned last year that you were able to put, into practice. Maybe after there's just nothing beats that experience, the game experience, and you could probably come back this year and see things a little better, play a little faster. Is that?
Yeah, the game slowed down a lot. Playing last year helped me get my reads, know where my eyes are, maybe even know where a play is going, just from knowing how the offenses run, like who we were playing. But yeah, the experience factor definitely helps. It makes me just be able to play fast and have fun rather than just thinking about what I have to do, because knowing the defense and watching film, I can just go out and have fun because it's already in my head what's going to happen.
Daniel Gonzalez, what can you say about that guy, and what does he bring to the table? When you see him play, he goes just 120% every play.
I love the guy. I really look up to him. I try to play like him as much as possible. I don't hit as hard as him, nowhere near as hard as him. But again, he pushed me all off season. He's a great guy, great captain. Like I said, I admire him. I admire his work ethic. I admire how he takes things personal and he lets it make him better rather than some people make him worse. Couldn't ask for a better captain.
Is there a competition to see who can make the most tackles?
Oh, definitely. We don't talk about it, but there's definitely competition, just because we're both prideful, want to be the best. It's just in our nature. So there's an underlying competition, but we don't really talk about it.
Talking about the inside linebackers, can you talk about the responsibility that is thrust upon you in a 3-4 alignment? Coaches, that's the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to funnel to you guys. You guys are supposed to be the free runners to make tackles. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's a big responsibility, just the whole inside linebacker group and outside linebacker group. Like you said, it gets funneled towards us. We make the play calls, we make the adjustments. And so just not only is it a physical game, but it's a mental game for it being an inside linebacker.
Have you kind of done your homework and studied up on some of the great inside linebackers they've had here, guys like Pospisil and Tyler Simmons, and I could go on and on. But do you know the names? And there's a tradition here since they went to a 3-4 scheme of inside linebackers leading the team in tackles.
Yeah, I've heard those names before. I've watched film. I remember 2008 film. I remember watching just a bunch of guys just flying around, and that's kind of what I've tried to portray as an inside linebacker, just the fearless act running to the ball.
So obviously you're known as a big hitter. I mean, Micah just said he can't come close to hitting as hard as you. Where did that come from? Where did you learn to explode on people like that?
I give that to my father.
Really?
He taught me to play the game with aggression and have no fear for anyone in front of me. And it doesn't matter who you are, how big you are in front of me. I'm going to put you down.
And you've done a good job this year with the knock-on shoulder pads, the targeting. I mean, Weston from Air Force is a huge hitter too, and he's had some bad incidents, and sometimes you can't help it. You're just making a play, and it just happens that helmets hit helmets.
Yeah, I definitely broke the second game curse I had, but it's something I focused on over the summer was just head placement, just making good tackles, good form tackles. And I think I've definitely improved with that this year.
Micah Thomas, it seems as though he's come a long way. The coaches have talked about him really taking a giant step forward, even since last year. What do you see out of that kid?
Monumental potential. He is out there. I would say he's the one that makes the play calls. He makes the adjustments. He knows I've taken too many hits to the head that I can't make the call quick enough. And I mean, he's who I look up to as far as the play calls and making the adjustments. He makes the game so much easier for me to just be able to fly around and play the way I do. And he's he's a physical specimen if you look at him out there. There's no reason he should be running that fast for as big as he is. And I think he's just a great asset I have right next to me that I know he's going to make the play every single time.
And what about the challenge this week? I mean, this is a team that's going to try to ram it down your throat. Their number one goal is to take those inside linebackers from Navy out and run right down the middle.
That's something we've been working on is just the cut block. We understand those are going to come, and we understand inside runs going to come, but that's something we've been working on, and I think we've done well the past couple of weeks in just handling the inside run, handling runs in general, and I think that that will carry over to